You disallow the use of the medical care that is accepted by every major medical association. If you disallow that care and don't allow people to have access to that, the only therapy left is either A, meaningless, or B, conversion therapy, which is torture. Intersex people exist, trans people exist, and this bill doesn't change that. At the very end of the bill, the letter that says life-altering medical procedures should wait until they are adults. What I will say is if you are, by this bill and by what these amendments do, if you are forcing a trans child to go through puberty when they are trans, that is tantamount to torture. If you vote yes on this bill, and yes on these amendments, I hope the next time there's an invocation, when you bow your heads in prayer, you see the blood on your hands.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Absolutely unhinged from start to finish, you know? To quote Luke Skywalker, every single word that you just said is wrong. And it's just so true, all right? But what you saw there, that was a transgender Democrat state legislator, and apparently the first ever Transformer, Decepticon, LGBT, ABC person to be a state legislator in Montana, making a speech about trying to stop a bill that would ban gender surgery for children. That whole speech was just a mess. I don't know where to start, but let's just start from the beginning, okay, of what this person says and then go from there. So firstly, the Transformer says, oh, this is accepted by medical organizations. See, the medical organizations say you should give gender-affirming care to minors. Wow, so like, you're saying Big Pharma thinks it's a good idea to buy the drugs of Big Pharma? Yeah, go figure. Of course they do. Also, what about this? Since when do we allow science and medicine to actually dictate what is moral? Has anyone asked this question? Why do scientists and doctors get to dictate policy and what is morally permissible simply because they have the ability to do these procedures? You know? Oh, but science people, I really should say pseudoscience, but science people say that trans in kids is a good idea, so therefore it's a good idea. No, actually, you know, I know this is something we've forgotten as a civilization, but scientists are not supposed to be moral arbiters. No one actually signed off that authority to them, right? Scientists can do a lot of things. Scientists can blow up the world. It doesn't mean that they should, okay? Scientists, frankly, in terms of on a civilizational level, should not have a say in moral issues. Okay, it should be the moralists that have a say in moral issues. Okay, science is there's no morality or immorality in the lens of science. It's all just science. It's the job of us humans, responsible humans, to actually step in and kind of control that. So there's number one. And then secondly, this Transformer claims, and I quote, if you are forcing a trans kid to go through puberty, that is tantamount to torture, end quote. That is one of the most deranged and frankly demonic things I have ever heard. It like, what? Let me read that again. If you are forcing a trans kid to go through puberty, that is tantamount to torture. Okay, first off, the reason that fails is because, first and foremost, there is no such thing as forced puberty. That is not a thing. That does not exist. You cannot force someone to go through puberty. Why? Because puberty is a natural and normal and healthy and internally started and ran biological process. There's no such thing as forced puberty because no one can force you to go through puberty. No one can hold a gun to your head and say, go through puberty. It's a natural, normal, biological process, right? And you might say, oh, but your body can create cancer on its own. I suppose, but that's not a natural. It's not a normal biological process. Cancer is not meant to help and develop your body. Puberty is. Okay, so don't make that. That's just ridiculous. But anyways, the Transformer says that not letting kids have puberty blockers is tantamount to torture. Letting kids' normal biological processes play out is torturing them. It is, of course, not torturing them to give them hormones that interfere with what their body is naturally trying to do. It's not torturing them, apparently, for those hormones to leave permanent effects on their body, which I know these people always say, oh, that's not true. Puberty blockers don't leave any permanent effects. And then they call us science deniers. Okay, let me state something that should be obvious and common sense, but apparently it's not. You cannot just inject hormones into your body that do something as dramatic to your body as pause the natural process of puberty. Do that for especially several years, and then suddenly expect several years later for it to turn on. Oh, puberty will just start again as normal, and expect every aspect of it to play out the same. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't care what big pharmaceutical. It makes absolutely zero sense. Oh, but the pharmaceutical company who sells this drug says, yeah. And how much of this is actually studied and compared side by side. But they didn't die from the puberty blocker, therefore we know everything was normal. Okay. I'm just sorry, I'm not going to buy this. The very idea that, say someone's meant to go through puberty at 13, and you give them a hormone that is so strong that it literally blocks all of that natural development. You mean to tell me if you just stop doing that at 19, they're just going to start puberty back up as normal? You really mean to tell me that? And even if they do, there's a different biological degree to which if you're going through puberty at 13, 19, it's still different. Even assuming everything is still intact after putting that strong of hormones in your body, which frankly, I don't know if that's true. But, frankly, all this stuff is demonic, okay? This speech here, it's completely demonic, okay? That's the only way to say it. It's demonic, it's satanic. And I know someone's going to be like, well, I agree with you, but I'm an atheist. Okay, don't care. Because you know what this fundamentally is? And what they are fundamentally up against? This is God's natural and beautiful design of human beings. And puberty is a part of that, right? Puberty is the process that God creates that, obviously turns his children into adults and all of that, turns his creation, it's meant for his creation and it's the way he envisions humans. And then on the other hand, you have these agents of Satan who are trying to interfere with and change God's natural design. That's what's going on here, right? God creates puberty naturally. What is the enemy trying to do? What are the demons trying to do? Try to stop that from happening, change that process, right? Now, of course, the enemy always fails. He cannot create for himself. He cannot defeat God's design as much as he tries. And that's why you see the issues that you do, right? Whether you want to talk about the depression and mental health and suicide rates, or even the fact that visually, you can tell this, even if they were on puberty blockers, even if they have all the surgeries done, oftentimes, you can tell. You can always tell, right? And why is that? Why can you still always tell? Why is it never, it's because Satan cannot defeat the design of God. No matter how much he and his demons try, all they can do is essentially just leave behind all of these victims of their lies that are, oftentimes depressed and permanently scarred and sometimes have had their bodies permanently mutilated and all this stuff. That's really all the enemy has the power to do. But I cannot look at something like this as a Christian. You have puberty, right? You have the natural God's design and them trying to make all this science to stop puberty. There's something, in my opinion, inherently satanic about all of that.
Hey guys, VinceDao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the VinceDao show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the VinceDao show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.